Welcome to Teaching Truth. In our reflections this week, we are digging into the tunnel, as it were, of Revelation 12 and 13 to discover the hidden treasure that we find in God's Word. We're looking at 5 famous characters. And the second of the famous 5 characters that we're going to look at today is the dragon. The dragon. Let's read of that red dragon in Revelation 12. Another sign appeared in heaven, an enormous red dragon with 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns on his heads. His tail swept 1/3 of the stars out of the sky and flung them to the earth. The dragon stood in front of the woman who was about to give birth, so that he might devour her child the moment it was born. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon and his angels fought back. But he was not strong enough, and they lost their place in heaven. The great dragon was hurled down, the ancient serpent called the devil or Satan, who leads the whole world astray. He was hurled to the earth, and his angels with him. When the dragon saw that he had been hurled to the earth, he pursued the woman who had given birth to the male child. The woman who was given the 2 wings of a great eagle so that she might fly to the place prepared for her in the desert, where she would be taken care of for times and a half a time, out of the serpent's reach. Then from his mouth the serpent spewed water like a river to overtake the woman and sweep her away with the torrent. But the earth helped the woman by opening its mouth and swallowed the river that the dragon had spewed out of its mouth. Then the dragon was enraged at the woman and went off to make war against the rest of her offspring, those who obey God's commandments and hold to the testimony of Jesus. And the dragon stood on the shore of the sea. What we're talking about here when we look at this dragon is not Puff the magic dragon that we might have had in a school play, nor is it the soup dragon in the clangers. This is an apocalyptic dragon, a very real and a very unusual dragon. But in our reflections today, we want to think about the personality of the dragon and also the pollution that the dragon brings. The personality of the dragon, John describes it as being a great red dragon. Red is the colour of war and of bloodshed. It brings to mind the red horse that we thought about a few weeks ago in Revelation 6:4. The dragon is a killer. The dragon brings death, he brings war, he brings bloodshed when he comes. Dragon. Well, a dragon, as we know, is a winged serpent. There's no such thing in our natural world. It's a picture here of Satan, of the devil, of Lucifer himself. Old Nick, as we say in Scotland. In fact, we're very safe in identifying the dragon and the devil because of what we read in this passage. The great dragon was hurled down, the ancient serpent called the devil or Satan, who leads the whole world astray. What about the 7 heads? This is a funny looking, mysterious, unusual dragon. Well, 7 heads, 7 brains speak of vast intelligence. We're dealing with a brilliant and a wise creature. 10 horns. Horns, in the Bible at least, are a symbol of power. Satan, remember, is not all powerful, but his power is still prevalent. What about the number 10? Well, the number 10, it's suggested, may refer to a 10-nation kingdom that will figure greatly during the last days. What about the 7 crowns on this dragon? Well, crowns are a symbol in the Bible and in the natural world of authority. King Charles III wears the crown. Satan is still small g, the god of this world. 2 Corinthians 4:4. The personality of the dragon. This dragon is different from Puff, the magic dragon, or the soup dragon in the clangers. But what about the pollution of the dragon? Well, the reference to the stars of heaven being cast down to the earth by the tail of the dragon refer us back to the fall of Satan. The fall of Satan. In the beginning, remember, he was the ranking angel in heaven. But he tried to take God's throne. He tried to get one over. He sinned and he became Satan. He was cast out of heaven. And when Lucifer fell, when Satan fell, 1/3 of the angels of heaven fell also into his rebellion. What about the plans of the dragon? Well, he's standing before Israel in this passage, waiting for the birth of her child. His intention is to destroy the seed of the woman as he is born. Satan has worked from the beginning of time to prevent the birth of the promised seed of the woman. You just need to look back at the Old Testament to discover this. The plans of the dragon. The plans of the dragon were when Satan moved Cain to kill Abel, thinking he could stop God's plan. But he didn't know that God would send Seth. The plans of the dragon were seen when he aroused Esau to anger so that Jacob might be killed. But he did not know that God would help Jacob escape. The plans of the dragon are seen when he tried to kill off the Jews in Egypt by having Pharaoh slay all the little boys. And he did not know that God would save a little boy called Moses from the bulrushes, who one day would lead the people out of Egypt. The plans of the dragon are seen when he tried to lead Israel away into idolatry, thinking God would destroy the nation. But he didn't see God leading them into captivity, where he would forever rid them of their idols. Put simply, the plans of this red, fiery, weird, satanic dragon fail in every attempt to stop the birth of Christ. He moved Herod, as we said yesterday, to destroy all the babies in Bethlehem under the age of 2. The personality of the dragon, the pollution of the dragon, and the plans of the dragon. The dragon is none less than Satan himself. Let me finish today by saying this: beware of the dragons in your life. Let's beware of the dragons in our lives that seek to come to kill and to destroy and to devour. Those dragons that are there. Those dragons that have plans to destroy us and to pollute us. Let's remember this dragon in Revelation was none less than Satan himself. And let's remember that Satan himself, even today, masquerades as a dragon waiting to devour and to kill our relationship with Jesus Christ. Tomorrow in Teaching Truth, we'll look at the third of the famous 5 characters. Be sure to join me then.